Hello, everybody, and good evening once again. Welcome to Singles Corner on Couples Diary. I'm so excited to be your host once again on the show. I remain my humble self, Omoshola Daniel, and thank you again for joining us. As always, I want to bring to your reminder that if you are coming across our content for the first time, I would want to encourage you to subscribe, to like, to engage, and to share all our content across all handles. The handle name is The Couples Diary on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Please subscribe, like, follow, and engage all our videos. This evening, I have something very important, very entertaining, and of course, very educating to share with us this evening. It's a very popular word that, and also it's a very popular experience that I'm sure each and every one of us at some point in our lives we've gone through it. This evening we'll be talking about love. 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 Yeah, I know love is a very common word. Yeah, very true. In fact, we can't do without it. It's already a part of our being, it's a part of our existence. But unfortunately, quite a number of us have a wrong interpretation or a wrong definition, or we practice it wrongly, and that is what we will be dealing with this evening. Please don't forget to share this video, let your friends see it, put it on your status, put it on all of your handles, and let everybody engage. I would like us all to rub minds together this evening. I'm only sharing my experience, I'm sharing my thoughts, and if you have any counter opinion, if you have contributions, it will be appreciated on the show. Thank you so much for joining. So, like I said, we'll be talking about love, but not love in its entirety. We're talking about how to recognize love in a relationship. Well, first and foremost, I want to lay a foundation of what the subject matter itself is, what love is. We all know love is an emotion. Yeah, very true. But actually, it can manifest differently. And there's a popular saying that love is a universal language. Yes, across all tribes, across all persons, across all race, we experience it one way or the other. Now, I want to lay a foundation of the subject matter of love before we delve into how to recognize it in relationship. So the first kind of love that everybody will look forward to, everybody loves to experience definitely, is the romantic love. A kind of love that involves intense emotional connection, that involves intimacy, that involves commitment. Romantic kind of love, that is one kind of love that a lot of persons unfortunately abuse in this generation, but don't worry, we'll get to that. The other kind of love that I want to also bring to our notice this evening is the familiar love, a very common love. It's an unconditional love and bond that we can see it being expressed among family members, as the name implies, familiar family. So unconditional love. I said the first one is romantic love. The second one is unconditional. Pardon me, familiar love. And the third one we'll be talking about is platonic love. Deep affection and friendship. This kind of love can be expressed or relate, or we can relate well with it amongst our friends, our colleagues, co-workers, neighbors, and those around us. It's just deep affection, friendship, no strings attached. Another kind of love that we underrate so much, very painful, is self-love. A lot of persons are finding it very hard to love themselves. Yeah, very sad but true. So self-love, it's a bit underrated, but yeah, it's a kind of love that is expected for everyone to experience and express. Self-love. And the last but not the least is unconditional love. A very perfect example of unconditional love is the one that we learn from the holy book about God giving the Son. John 3:16. I don't want to go scriptural. So let's just maintain it that way. We all know the story, we all know the drill. For God so and He gave, and we know how it all ended. But unconditional love is accepting and loving others without judgment. Accepting and loving others without judgment. So I don't really want to pause with the back and forth here and there thinking about love. We all know what it is because there's nobody that can tell me that he has not experienced or expressed love before. However, we are not just looking at the subject matter itself, love, but how to recognize it. Like, if you are following, I just listed about 4 to 5 different kinds, categories of love. So, how are you able to recognize this? How are you able to differentiate between all of these categories? And that is what we are going to be looking into this evening. Like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and engage our content on all social media handles. And if you are just joining the show, thanks for joining. I greet you and I say welcome to the show again. We're talking about how to recognize love. Don't forget to engage in the comment section, because today I want it to be very interactive. I don't want to be the only one talking. I want to hear your view, I want to listen to your opinion, and I also want to learn. So thank you so much for engaging. Now, looking at how to recognize love. You see, recognizing love itself requires understanding its various forms and signs, understanding what kind of love it is, understanding the integers that actually define the love. You understand? So getting to recognize love, it all start with a place of understanding the kind of love that is being expressed, understanding love itself in its various form. So you see, recognizing love can be a very challenging but exciting experience. Yeah, recognizing sometimes a lot of people sadly have had ugly experiences because they misinterpreted the concept of what love is. Yeah, misinterpreting it. They misinterpreted the concept of what love is, and it was a very bitter, sad, heartbreaking experience. But now, one of the things that this video this evening is going to do is it's going to save you from having to go through that experience, because when you are informed, your actions, your the things you do later on, it will be influenced by the knowledge you've been able to acquire. So you wouldn't be doing anything out of ignorance, especially falling in love ignorantly. So recognizing love can be very challenging, but it's an exciting experience. However, there are so many signs that can and that should indicate that you are feeling loved. Yeah, so in case if you didn't hear me from the very beginning, I mentioned that love is has to do with an emotion. It's a feeling. It's grows. It's built. It's like planting a seed and watching it grow and germinate. So it is not just like a fling thing. It is not just attached to a feeling. It's an emotion. It's life itself. So you should be able to see, observe, come to understand some signs, experienced some signs that will point out as indicators that you are either feeling loved or somebody is expressing love to you. And one of the things we'll be looking at is deep emotional connection. Yeah, deep emotional connection. Now, don't forget that um, these signs should actually, yeah, this sign should actually help you to be able to discern and properly identify or recognize the kind of love that is being expressed or that you are experiencing, so that you wouldn't love for the wrong reasons, so that your actions wouldn't be influenced by how you feel or how you felt about how somebody disposed themselves to you for the wrong reason. So you should be able to, by identifying these signs, properly define the kind of love you are experiencing. So deep emotional connections. Deep emotional connections is when you feel a strong bond, a kind of understanding, and a kind of acceptance from somebody. This is naturally expressed in a familiar love. Naturally, you see love amongst family members, love amongst siblings, love amongst father to child, mother to son, father to daughter, brother to sister, elder to younger siblings. Familiar love, there's a natural bond that is strong, there's a kind of understanding that is built, and there's a kind of acceptance that you enjoy. Why? Because of there is a bond, there's a connection which is tied around what bounds you people together as a family, be it you are blood related, be it your every kind of connection that has to do with family. You might be blood siblings, you might be distant cousins, but because of you are in a family, you are united as a family, there's a kind of bond, there's a kind of expression that it's genuine, it is natural, it is strong, and it's been expressed by understanding. You feel accepted, you feel like you belong to something. It's just like let me see, going outside of humans, a what's this word again, a club of foxes, wolves. You see, there's an alpha and there are others, but you see them, they work together and they are called what? A pack. There's a kind of bond that if one is in danger, you will see every other one of them is coming to its rescue. You see, the same thing with birds, the same thing with fishes, everything that it's living. You see, when there is a kind of familiar bond, there's a kind of connection, there's a kind of acceptance, there's a kind of understanding that is shared among these folks. Now that is familiar bond. Now one of the signs you can be you see that would help you to actually recognize the kind of love that is being expressed to you or that you are experiencing is deep emotional connection. Deep emotional connection. And the truth about this is that emotional connections cannot be faked. Yeah, it cannot be faked. It's just like you can't do a, I want to go a bit electrical. There's a kind of wiring you will do that. If your live and negative connections are wrong, it can't generate light, right? Exactly how that kind of illustration is the same thing, telling us that no matter how hard you try to, live deceitfully, you can't fake emotional connection, you can't fake emotional bond. It is natural, it is genuine, and it is real. Another sign we'll be talking about this evening that would help you to properly identify or recognize the kind of love you are experiencing is increased energy. Yes, increased energy. Have you ever felt that being around somebody, you feel alive, you feel whole, you feel different, you feel new? Like there's a way that that person's presence lighten up your mood. There's a way that person's presence, bring lives into the room and make you energized. Increased energy. Like whenever that person is around you, whenever that person is in your circle, whenever that person is in your corner, you feel different. You feel there's a kind of force, there's a kind of impulse you experience. Yeah, it's a sign that you are feeling love, is a sign that you are experiencing love. The person might be someone that shows affection to you. The person might be someone that gives you attention. The person might be someone that is always on the outlook for you, that looks out for you. Now, that kind of love might be platonic. It can also be romantic. At the same time, it can be familiar. You get, but it is a sign for you to know that, yeah, I am feeling loved. It's a sign for you to be. It's one of the things that can help you to identify or recognize that you are being loved. It's one of the things that help you to properly define that love experience that you might be having at the moment. Increased energy. Whenever he walks into the room, you feel alive, you feel different. There's a kind of aura that his presence carries. Like when it's in the room, you feel so comforted. When you see her, you just feel calm. You might be struggling with something, you might be angry, you might have mood swing. But when that person just comes around, it just has a way of, lightening up your mood, just transforming that atmosphere. Yeah, you are actually experiencing or feeling loved. Another sign, very, very important sign that helps you to properly recognize if you are feeling loved is acceptance and appreciation. I was having a conversation with somebody recently, and deep into that conversation, I got to understand that this person's love language is words of affirmation. Like, regardless of how you mean whatever it is you do or express towards that person, if you are not saying it, that person is not getting 100% validation actually. Yeah. So some people, they like to hear it, they like to be appreciated, they like to be accepted. Sometimes you have to go as far as saying it beyond showing it. You appreciating each other's strength, each other's weakness is one way to, you know, express that I love you, I want to be there for you. Is one of the things that when you see or experience it, you should be able to tell this person that you are feeling loved or this person is expressing love towards you. Acceptance and appreciation. When you know how to use, you see, it's so funny because a lot of we folks, we guys, my gender particularly, we are knowledgeable about these things, and we use it to our advantage. All right. So there was a time I was going across an article, and I got to understand that the male gender, we are moved by the things we see, whereas the female gender, they are moved by the things they hear. Right. So a lot of my folks, my gender, Gen Z particularly, we know how to use words to get to a lot of persons, especially the opposite sex. But actually, in real sense, when you feel appreciated, it is also a sign that you're being loved. When you feel accepted and it's been expressed with, with words and with action, it's a sign, it's an indication that no, this person, whatever this person is doing or whatever this person is expressing towards me is genuine. So it's now left to you to, now probe, now discern, now find out what kind or what is the purpose, what is the reason behind whatever it is you are experiencing or whatever it is that is being expressed towards you. So appreciation, words of affirmation, and acceptance is one of the very many signs to show that you are being loved. Another thing is trust and vulnerability. Trust and vulnerability. Have you ever found yourself in a fix, or you've been with somebody and you feel very, very, very comfortable to share, including your deepest secrets? You feel secured sharing your thoughts. You feel secured sharing your feelings. You feel secured sharing your desires with this person. Like, this person is more like your comfort zone. If you are pained, if you are down, if you are broken, whenever this person is around, you just find yourself pouring out all your emotions, pouring out all your feelings, pouring out everything bothering you. Like, there is nothing that you find it hard to tell this person. You feel very comfortable expressing yourself with this person. Yeah, you can only do that because you feel accepted. The person is expressing something genuine to you, and from the experiences you've had, that is what has built your trust and your vulnerability to this person. Vulnerability in the sense that you feel secured relating your experience with this person, you feel comfortable sharing your thoughts, your ideas, your feelings, and your desire with this person. It is one of the way for you to recognize that there's a spark of love somewhere, or there's a stirring up of love somewhere. So yeah, if you have somebody like that, hold them tight. They are very special persons, and in fact, there are just few of them roaming on this earth, and I happen to be lucky to be one of those very few. Yeah, I said it, and I meant it. So trust and vulnerability is one of those very many signs that helps you to recognize that you are loved or you are feeling loved. Another thing that helps to recognize is unconditional care. You know, there are some people that naturally, without expecting anything in return, they are ready to go all out of their way to just make sure you are fine, to make sure you are okay. They are ready to do everything humanly possible. In fact, some go the extra mile of doing inhuman things just to make sure you are fine, make sure you are okay, make sure you are cared for. Somebody posted something lately that I watched, and the post was AI generated, but word and text. And it was about if you have a friend that is going all out for you, if you have somebody that they are very intentional about you, hold them tight, appreciate them, please value them. Yeah, there are people like that that by default, by nature, they prioritize your well-being, they prioritize your happiness. Like they are intentional about seeing that you are well, you are fine, you are doing good, even if it's at the expense of their own comfort. Yeah, there are persons like that actually. So if you have experienced that, or if you are experiencing it, or if there's somebody in the corner that is expressing that to you, yeah, he's doing that because he or she is doing that because of LOVE, love. Say, but it's left to you to probe that what kind of love is this? What would have warranted? What would have cost you to, go out of your comfort zone to make sure I'm comfortable? Why are you? A lot of us, instead of us to even now appreciate such acts, will now go with the questions of why are you doing this? Why are you all those emotional blackmail and all those shit? But then actually it's a sign that if anybody should, go that extra mile just to make sure you're comfortable, definitely it's genuine. The person is doing it because he loves you. The person is doing it because he cares for you. He or she. Don't let me just stay or be particular about the male gender because I'm a guy. A lot of girls do even more. Yeah, a lot of girls do even more. So before I go on, I want to check. Like I said from the beginning, I want this to be very engaging, and of course, I can see that we are engaging. So here on YouTube, whoa, interesting. A lot of people have a lot of things to say. Thank you so much, Mr. Moses. Oh, thanks for the high opening topic. You're very, very, very welcome. It is so good to have you on the show. Thank you for commenting. Okay, this is making sense. Thank you. Olamilekon stating facts. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel Adeni. Loving to this episode. Thumbs up. Thank you for engaging. We have somebody else, Kelechi. Say thank you so much for sharing. You're very, very, very welcome. I see it as a privilege to share my knowledge, to express myself, and just thank you so much for also engaging. Adeju Modolapo, this is so impressive. Thank you so, so, so much. We also have Godwin Jimmy saying good one. We have Real Fortunate saying that's interesting. Abdul Karim Afiz says that's amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for engaging. Mr. Mascot said this is simply awesome. Oh, thank you so, 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 so much. Another person is asking that if that really works, that's great. Actually, What works for A might not work for B. But as I will always recommend, there's no harm in trying. Really, really. Because for you not to, one of the reasons why we're actually having this conversation, one of the reasons why I'm sharing this, having this high open conversation, is just to establish the fact that it wouldn't make sense for you to have an experience before you get better at a thing. You don't need to experience heartbreak before you know that love hurts. True. So a lot of persons at different points in time. The sad truth is, many a time, a lot of people try to express how they genuinely feel to us. Yeah, a lot of persons go out of their way just to make us understand that, yeah, I genuinely feel something true for you. But because of the experience we've had in the past, because of the fact that a a wrong picture, a wrong notion has been created from our past experience, a lot of us have carried a mindset that totally misinterprets some of this action. Let me cite an example. A lady that just that's in recovery from an heartbreak experience with her boyfriend. Imagine that kind of lady still in recovery from a very, let me see, what kind of experience can be very emotional, heartbreaking, and mentally draining. Okay, her boyfriend cheated on her with her best friend without a notice, denied it, and she got to find out on different occasions, and he was still denying it. That can be very traumatic. And this guy happens to be somebody that is the calling type, the attention giving type, is the affectionate one. He is the one that can go out of his way to, make sure this girl is very comfortable. Imagine that girl coming across another guy that by default, that is who he is. He's caring, he's loving, he's jovial, he can go out of his way. Because of this girl has not completely healed from the past experience she has had with her ex or with her boyfriend that she just broke up with, there is a high tendency that she would paint this new guy as the same. Little wonder one of the very famous words you hear ladies saying today is men are the same. Unfortunately, we are not. The only reason why you can have that kind of mindset is because you are trying to categorize the male gender under a kind of experience you've had with just one. So if you put one bad egg in a basket, definitely that bad egg is going to corrupt the rest. I said this to say that if you categorize every man or you categorize every woman under the same umbrella of an experience you've had, you would see them the same. You would what? You would see them the same. You will categorize them as the same. So I would want to, like I always do, recommend to everyone to, I always say that if you've suffered from heartbreak, please and please make sure you heal before you go into another. If you have suffered from heartbreak, make sure you heal before you go into another. Because really, if you don't heal, you would you would carry the same hurts of what you've experienced before. You would bring it into the new relationship you are in, and then you bring it into the new relationship you are in, and you won't get the best out of it. You won't get the best out of it. So please and please, if you've suffered heartbreak, make sure you heal before you go into another one. So thank you so much everyone for engaging. Thank you so much everyone for being a part of today's session. Thank you for, I'm enjoying all of the comments. I'm enjoying all of your replies. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for, I wanted this to be engaging and you are giving me that. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Moving forward, let's look at other points, other things, other signs that helps you to properly identify or recognize love if you are experiencing it or if it is being expressed to you. Now, this happens a lot of time to everyone. I want to call it consistent thirst. It's so sad I have to sound this blunt, but unfortunately, that's the truth. A lot of persons have thought to themselves that they were sacrificial, but actually they took some stupid decisions that they now regret. Because how would you? I've come across a lot of posts on Facebook, particularly a lot of video, a lot of reposts of people suffering brutal, heartbreaking experiences because they didn't process their thoughts before putting it into action. Like an average in giving do a census of about 15 to 20 average Nigerian youths that got married in the last 3-4 years, you would see that some of them like this part is it's funny but at the same time it's very heartbreaking. Okay, let me come closer. Like let me make it much more relatable. We've all heard stories of you see guys would invest like all of their savings in the future of a lady they are not legally or in any way related to, all in the name of love. And you see those ladies at the end, like we've heard stories of guys that would spend so much in sponsoring a girl to school, like investing so much, and at the end of it, when the girl finish, she will end up marrying another person. Like actually, who does that? But yes, the who does that question now is to both parties, both the guy and the girl. Like who does that? I said something in our last live video. I said the only thing you owe anybody is your personal development. Like the best gift you can give to anybody in this life. I repeat, the best gift you can give to anybody in this life is your personal development. We've seen stories of girls that you see this guy will invest so much in their academics, and when they finish, they will come up with the excuse that I can't marry him because he's not in my standard. The same standard that this same guy was the one who invested in. Like you see stories of guys that will make sacrifices of struggling so hard to give their so-called or girlfriend or wife to be in quotes a very comfortable life, helping them achieve a career pursuit. But you see these ladies end up guilting them or going with another person instead of them. And when those ladies want to give an excuse, they'll be like, we are no longer compatible. Like, and if you ask that guy, you say, I did it because of love. I did it because I love her. I paid the sacrifice. I paid the price. Bro, you didn't. You only took a stupid decision. One of my brothers will always say that if he is going to invest or spend any of his penny on any lady, and there's going to be an agreement. It's funny, but unfortunately, the experiences we've had in recent times is what's going to warrant that. Like we have misinterpreted and in fact we have abused sacrifice. We have misinterpreted or in fact we have abused sacrifice. Yeah. So now the first thing about sacrifice is before something can be sacrificial, it's going to cost you. It's going to be at the expense of a lot of things. But then you are not doing it to expect anything in return. That's the difference. Unfortunately, a lot of persons that have paid or made sacrifices recent time, especially ones that are related to relationship, they are doing it because of they are expecting something in return. And sad truth is most of them actually they receive heartbreak in return. Somebody is saying something, okay? Most of them have received heartbreak in return. It's because majority of us do not really understand the concept of what sacrifice is. When you are willing to make compromise for each other, when you are willing to pay a price. But if it is something you are doing now because of you expect another thing in return, it is no longer sacrifice. It is no longer a sacrifice. Yeah. But actually, sacrifice is one of those things that helps us to recognize that we are being loved or love is being expressed towards us. Sacrifice is one of those things. But actually, and unfortunately, a very sad truth, but true, is that a lot of persons have really abused the concept, the idea of sacrifice. And that is why we see a lot of girls, guys inclusive, take advantage of it. Like, take advantage of it. They play the good guy, good girl in the start. They get what they want and they just jilt or they leave you. When you are willing to make compromise and sacrifice for each other, it's a sign that you love somebody. It's also same as going out of your way to ensure that the person you care for, the person you love, is comfortable. Sacrifice. It is a sign to help you identify, it is a sign to help you recognize that you are being loved or love is expressed towards you. So, but I will always say this, you know, I like it that these points are very valid, they are very true. If you practice them, you would seek results. But please and please, I don't want you to go with the notion that I was on a live show and the moderator said that this, that, and because of what the moderator said, I decided to practice it. Please be sure within yourself, have a conviction that this person is expressing love for me, and this love itself is genuine before you commit yourself to it. Because I wouldn't. It's my desire actually that the rate of heartbreak, the rate of um, broken homes, the rate of divorce, the rate of pain, hurt from relationship reduce. Like I am looking forward to a society that is free from pain, free from hurts that are love related. And that is one of the reasons, one of the inspirations behind doing all of this. So please and please, before you get yourself involved in anything emotional, in anything practically involves love, feelings, be sure to test, be sure to probe, be sure it's genuine, be sure you have the conviction, and it is not just an intuition that is influencing that decision. And I trust that if you are able to, apply or put all of this to practice, it is my desire that it is going to help you have an healthy and a better relationship. So remember, love is a unique experience, and unfortunately, not everybody that genuinely or truly loves or express love would express all of these signs I have listed. They might express few of it, they might express more of it. In fact, they might express all of it.